Hello and welcome to another episode of my Productivity Mastery series. This week I want to talk to you about the deep subject of the subconscious mind. Now, the reason I want to do this is because when we're working on projects, and if we have multiple projects, it's very, very hard for us to actually work consistently on the same project day after day after day. What often happens is we end up working on project A on Monday and then returning to it on Friday or even the following Monday instead of doing a little bit every single day. Now that's okay, generally speaking, particularly if you don't really need a great deal of creativity and there's not a great deal of problem solving involved. But if you do need to start using creativity and you do need to start solving quite a few problems, you're trying to overcome an issue and you need to find a solution, now this is where you need to engage your subconscious mind. Now the thing about your subconscious mind is it is subconscious. You're not aware of it actually doing any work. Now, the best way I can describe the difference between a subconscious mind and the conscious mind is the conscious mind essentially is being aware of your surroundings, being aware of what is happening to you right now. Now, this is the survival instinct. This is where we get our survival instinct. It's also the reason why if you receive any criticism about your work, your immediate reaction is to get very defensive. But your subconscious mind is a lot more thoughtful. It tends to adapt. It uses the things that you've learned. It's used your experiences. It's used the knowledge that you have. It uses many things to come up with solutions to different problems. So your subconscious mind, when it deals with criticism, is not to be defensive, but to analyze the criticism and to see if there are any valid points in the criticism. And it's a much better way of dealing with criticism because that's how we improve. That's how we become better presenters. That's how hopefully you might feel I've improved my YouTube videos. You know, things are getting slowly improving. And boy, I've received a lot of criticism over the 4 years that I've been doing these YouTube videos. But that doesn't bother me because I know how to engage my subconscious mind to analyze the points that people have raised so that I can actually come up with better solutions or to be able to know where to find the solutions. And this is why when you work on a project on a day-to-day basis, so you've got a big project that you're working on, if you're doing a little bit every single day, your subconscious mind stays engaged. And so what it's doing is it's bringing up those creative solutions that you probably can't think of immediately, because what it's doing is while you're sleeping, while you're resting, while you're being distracted by something, while you're reading or watching a movie, that's when your subconscious mind is working, because that's when it's actually coming up with the solutions. What it's doing is it's taking the problem and it's matching your knowledge with your experience and coming up with a solution. And I find that one of the areas that I never need to worry about is when I'm developing like an online course. And one of the hardest ones is actually doing the updates because I want to be able to bring something new to the table. And I did struggle with my Your Digital Life 2.0 update for this year. Now the update hasn't come out yet. I'm in the process of actually planning it, but it will be coming out in the next few weeks. But it took me a few weeks of engaging that subconscious mind to come up with the refresh and to come up with some new ways of doing it. But if I was doing it like, say, okay, I'll spend a couple of hours in January, I'll spend a couple of hours in February working on it, it just wouldn't have time to engage. There'll be other things distracting it. So what I really wanted to do is to be able to do a little bit every single day. And basically what I did was I created a note in my notes app and I just added ideas and just brainstormed ideas every single day, just spending 20 to 30 minutes. And eventually the ideas started coming, the solutions, if you like, started coming. But it's not something that you can force. It takes time and you've just got to trust that it will engage. Now the way to do that is to make it a part of your routine, to do some of that brainstorming, to do some of that developing of the project. And that's why I always find it's so important when you have a big project on the horizon is to get started with it as soon as possible, because when you're using your conscious mind, it's just being much more logical. Okay, problem A, need to find problem A's solution. And you just don't come up with anything original or anything creative. That's why you need that subconscious mind to be able to activate and to be able to help you. Now, I know this particular episode has been a little bit deeper than usual, but it is just something that I found difficult to be able to explain how to develop the projects. It's like every week I do my YouTube videos, and so my subconscious mind is constantly engaged in finding better ways of being able to communicate what I want to communicate to you guys. But the only way I can do that is to be doing a little bit every day, or at least 2 or 3 times a week. So it stays engaged, it stays thinking about the issue, developing solutions to that problem. But it's just something that I know it's a bit deeper. It's not like a black and white lesson today where I can actually say, if you do this, you will get this result. This is something that takes a bit of practice. And the best way I can do it is next time you are criticized by a friend, by a colleague, by your boss, by your spouse, by your partner, whoever it is, don't react negatively. Just immediately when you feel that negativity coming, just let it go. Absorb the criticism and then just dwell on it for a few days. Just think about the criticism. Think, did I really do that wrong? Did I act wrongly? Did I not do this correctly? And your subconscious mind will accept that criticism in a much more positive way. And you'll find that you end up deciding whether it's a valid point or it's not a valid point. So anyway, that's really what I wanted to explain to you today. I know it's a bit of a deep subject. It's delving into the areas of psychology, but it is one of those areas that if you really want to come up with wonderful, great, creative solutions and ways of developing projects, then all you need to do is just make sure that you're doing a little bit every day so that you're staying focused on that issue, and you will allow your subconscious brain to come up with the solutions. Well, thank you very much for watching this episode. It just remains for me now to wish you all a very, very productive week. Well, thank you very much for watching this video. Now, I'd like to introduce you to a brand new way of managing your tasks. Now, this system is called the time sector system. It's designed to do away with your projects, to do away with your goals, or at least do away with them from your time management system, your to-do list manager, and instead focuses on when you are going to do the task. Now, the reason for this is from a research that I did for the whole of last year, figuring out why most people were really struggling with their task, getting their task done on a day-to-day basis. What I discovered was they were managing their task by project. And the biggest problem with managing tasks by project is, first of all, deciding whether a task is a project or not. 2 or more tasks becomes a project, which means that you end up with a huge project list. And once you have a huge project list, just managing that list takes up an awesome amount of time. Time you could better be spent actually doing the work, not organizing. The time sector method is designed to do away with all that processing so that the only decision you have to make is when are you going to do a task. And let's be honest, it doesn't matter how motivated, inspired, how urgent a task is. If you don't have time to do it, it is never going to get done. So I have launched a brand new course that gives you the step-by-step approach of setting up the time sector method. It's a revolutionary course. It's designed for the 21st century. For all the inputs that we get today, all the emails, the Slack messages, and everything else that comes our way, it's designed to deal with that, to manage that so you stay focused on what you have identified are your most important tasks for the day. I'd love to see you in the course. Full details of the course are in the show notes below. I'd love you to check it out. Join me in the course and let's take your productivity to a greater level than you've ever imagined. Well, thank you very much for watching this video. I just wish you all a very, very productive week.